Hi, I'm Erin from erinbusby.com, and today I'm responding to a friend who asked, how do I handle having exceptionally sensitive skin? So, on the list of things that either create burns or breakouts, which are both really painful, are my own tears, makeup, cleansers, dish soap, scrubs, lotions, sometimes face masks, band-aids because of the adhesive, kinesio tape, latex. I think maybe that's it. So let's start with tears. When I was in college, I actually had a friend who wrote a song called Acid Tears, inspired by the tracks of flaking, cracking burns that I had down my face after a particularly sad cry. And so how do I deal with that? Because I don't want to hold it in. Tears and crying are a really good thing. It lets you discharge some extra energy. It gets your diaphragm moving. You get more oxygenation. It's really important that that emotion is allowed to come through. I let that happen, and then I immediately go wash my face with just water. I rinse it off. I get the salt and whatever else is in tears off of my skin, because otherwise I'm going to end up with cracky, flaky nastiness. I wash my face with just water. I don't typically use cleansers. I do have one that isn't so bad for me, but I try to let my skin naturally have oil, because if it isn't constantly stripped, it doesn't overproduce nearly to the extent that it does when we're in that loop. I have experimented like crazy finding products that work. So with acting and modeling, where wearing makeup is literally a job requirement, and working in spas, it's also part of the contract. I tried stage makeup. I tried over-the-counter makeup. I tried every single brand of sensitive skin or mineral makeup that I have ever encountered, and they were all bad. There's one brand that works for me, and it's not one of the natural ones. So I try to use it really infrequently because they say that you shouldn't put something on your skin that you wouldn't ingest. It takes 28 seconds for anything that's put on the skin to start interacting with your bloodstream. So the emulsifiers and the preservatives and things have carcinogens and endocrine disruptors, hormone disruptors. So I really do try to be pretty sparing with what I put on my skin. I don't use sunscreen. I know that that's something that is pretty contentious and might push some buttons, but every sunscreen that I have encountered has a lot of really nasty chemicals in it. Where I live, we don't get a lot of direct sunlight, at least 6 months out of the year, which limits vitamin D production. And there's actually new research that hasn't fully come to fruition out of Scotland, that says that UVA contact with the skin is actually possibly important in releasing nitrogen compounds and supporting heart health. So there might be a balance around how much protection is good and how much is harmful. But instead of using sunscreens, I try to cover up with light reflective fabric when I'm in the sun for a long period of time. Wear broad hats. do my very best Anne of Green Gables type of, well, maybe not Anne, but anyway, I give myself permission to just remember that the skin is an organ, and while it's an organ we can decorate, it also has a job to do, and that takes priority. So I give it time off. It gets vacation time from being pretty and being preened. If I do want exfoliation to help with cell turnover and get the dead skin off, I like microdermabrasion. And I haven't gotten that recently because the esthetician that I really, really trust and love and who listened about the vitamin C sensitivity moved away, and I haven't found one that I like as much. But I also do my own exfoliation. I use a light oil base, and then just the same as I would in a spa with a prepared scrub, I use either a salt base or a sugar base. And sometimes if I want a little bit more of a gentle exfoliation, I'll just use ground cloves, which smells heavenly. Maybe mix in some cinnamon and get all kind of like spicy dessert. Yeah, that feels really good, and I don't have to worry about what's going into my system. If I get cut, every spa or clinic that I've worked in, I have insisted that there are non-latex gloves available. So if a cut is bad enough, or if it's in a high-risk area like my hand, I can cover it up so that I'm not going to infect a client, or I'm not going to get infected by a client with whatever. And other than that, I either don't use bandages, or if it's bad, I put gauze and then wrap it in sometimes nylon, sometimes like a light cloth, and then I tape around that so that there's a barrier between my skin and any adhesive. Dish soap, I use a pretty gentle one that hasn't been so much of an issue lately, but it used to burn little patches in my palms. And a lot of it is just down to experimentation. So try a bunch of different things, keep a record of it. Say, I'm going to try this particular brand for this particular duration. These are the symptoms that come up when I use this. If it's something like eyeshadow, certain shades might be different than others. So for eyeshadow, for me, with a lot of them, it would actually peel the upper layer of the lid off. It would be this red, pink, crusty, flaky, painful, throbbing, swelled out to here kind of mess. But different pigments will interact with skin differently. So it might just be one particular mineral that you're reacting to. So yeah, try a bunch of things. Interview your skin. When I was in Bali visiting my sister, I had this breakout. And the last place you want to be broken out is in an island paradise surrounded by hot guys. So my sister asked, what does it want? And I asked my skin, and it wanted to breathe, and it wanted to be accepted. And that was really challenging for me, but I made a contract with myself, and I said, for the rest of the time I'm on this island, I'm not going to put makeup on. And it healed because I broke the cycle. So usually we go in this breakout, conceal kind of thing, and we need to break up with the cycle so that we can stop breaking out and covering up. Also, yeah, with theater and modeling, I also limited how much acting I do, partly because 2 weeks of being committed to wearing makeup is a little too much for my system to handle. And with a modeling shoot, 1 day and I'm good. And I remember one of my the last shows I did, I had this tribal makeup where I was supposed to be a Visigoth or an Ostrogoth or something. And so we had this kind of marking, and my skin reacted so badly to it that during a meet and greet after, a friend came up and asked if I had chicken pox because I had erupted so fully to this makeup. And really, it's find what works for you. Find what where the boundaries are. How much pain are you willing to endure? Are there fabrics that feel good? Are there fabrics that always hurt? Make a record and accept that this may not be something that's common for anybody else, but it's true for you. And that is valid and worth acknowledging and worth respecting and worth having compassion for. And that's really the only thing you need to know is this is true for me right now. So wishing you comfort and beauty and clarity and joy and all of the good qualities. But yeah, wishing you radiant joy. If you want to share a story about something unusual that you've reacted to and how you overcame it, leave a comment below. If any of these are like, oh my God, me too, leave a comment below. We are not alone. So the tears thing is totally weird, but I have met 2 other women who are like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one. So there's strength in numbers. There's comfort in numbers. So show up, reflect. We're in this together. All right, see you tomorrow.